The first myth I'm going to share with you is that you don't need the latest gear or the most expensive camera. And I know it's tempting, right? I've been tempted by the new Z series of Nikons. I've got the D850. I still shoot with the Nikon D850. I've had it for 5 years. I don't know how well you can see my shelf behind me. I've got a bunch of film cameras as well. I still do a fair bit of film photography, and they're old cameras. My One of my main go-to cameras that I love to shoot with more than anything is a Fuji X-T1. That's an old camera. And so you just got to know that you don't need the latest and greatest. What I'm going to teach you tonight, you could use your smartphone to take an amazing image with, because it's more about knowing the tricks to employ when you're making an image. And I think it's easy to get caught up in that gear acquisition, right? We call it GAS, gear acquisition syndrome. And I know that because I've been there. Many years ago, I actually owned a camera and lens rental company, so I had all the latest gear, but I had to have it, right, because people were hiring it, and it was a lot of fun. There's no doubt it was a lot of fun. And the other thing was, when I sort of had Fujifilm and Nikon, I was working closer with them. They would lend me their gear as well, and I'd get the latest gear to try. And it really did. There was this drive to always have the latest gear. I want to let you know, it doesn't matter what gear you've got, you can make amazing images. So that's good news. The second thing that is a myth is you're not born with a photographer's eye. I hear this quite a lot. They're just a born, artist, or a born whatever. It's not true. You can learn what it takes, but you need to be guided. And I think part of the problem is that we are overloaded with too many things from too many directions, and you end up buying too many lenses, for example, or too many bits of gear. I asked a question on my Facebook page the other day. I think it's had about 80 answers, and I said, what's the one piece of gear you've bought that you've never used or regret buying, or that was a waste of money? And every photographer has a story, if not more, multiple stories of stuff that they've bought to try and make themselves busy to better. So you're just distracted by all of that. And the reality is, what that distracts you from is really honing your craft as a photographer. So you don't need to have a photographer's eye. What you need to do is you need to be focused on improving, and that'll give you the results that you want. So we're going to talk a bit about that tonight as well, what you need to practice. And the other thing is, you don't need to be in an exotic location. In fact, one of the things that I do, and I think Julie's in here. I don't know if any of the other students are in here, but Ian, I think, have you done my course, Ian? I can't remember. Anyway, I know Julie's definitely done the course. You're going to see some images later on that I'm going to share with you from some of the students that have done my course. And I'm going to show you their images, and most of those images they've pretty much taken within a short drive from their house. And the reason I like sharing this with you is because if you learn the right techniques, you can make great images anywhere. And so you don't need to be in an exotic location. Now, when you do travel to an exotic location, and these tips, you can make even more amazing images, right? And yes, it helps to be somewhere pretty amazing that not many people see, but you don't need to be.